Well, to Madagascar now, where 16 people have been killed and 17 others are missing after heavy rain lashed the island in the wake of Tropical Storm Chenoso. The storm, which reached land on January the 19th, is the first for 2023. At least 60,000 people have been displaced, with more than 13,000 homes and 100 classrooms damaged. People in the western Minabi region have sought shelter in a community center. The region's governor has appealed for help from a central government. Madagascar and Mozambique have been repeatedly hit by severe storms and cyclones in recent years. In January and February last year, 4 major storms hit Madagascar, killing at least 138 people, destroying 124,000 homes and displacing about 130,000 people. Well, now let's get an update. We are now joined via Zoom by Dennis Bariyanga, Operations Coordinator in Madagascar for the International Federal of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies. Thank you so much for your time and a very good afternoon to you, sir. Perhaps let's start here. I mean, we are getting some reports that the death toll might have increased at this point. What's the latest from your vantage point with regards to the storm, and just how many people were affected?
Thank you very much. Good morning, good afternoon. Yeah, the recent update recorded so far 19 people missed, then 16 people who died. But we have also recorded more than 55,000 people who have been affected, including 25,000 people displaced in different accommodation sites, but also in different families and relatives. So far, a lot of houses have also been flooded, more than 13,000 houses flooded, and 500 houses destroyed completely. This is the current situation now, but we can also recall that a lot of public infrastructures like bridges, like schools, like roads have also been destroyed with this Chenoso system.
Now, what kind of assistance, is the International Federal or even the Red Cross and the Red Crescent Societies offering to the people of Madagascar during this time, particularly those that have been displaced?
Thank you very much. Remember, this is the first weather system registered this year, meaning that we are still waiting for more weather systems in the future. The government has not yet so far requested for international support, but requested and mobilized people for what we can call internal solidarity. So Red Cross, as the main partner of the government, has already mobilized volunteers, more than 400 volunteers across all the affected areas, to support the affected people in different terms. First of all, to mobilize people to help the vulnerable people, like the old people, pregnant women, handicapped people, to evacuate them, but also conducting some psychosocial support and first aid support. And the volunteers have been as well very much involved in conducting the rapid assessment in different areas to know the emergent needs so that we can provide some support to them. We have deployed different emergent stocks to different areas, so we are ready to support those who are most affected, especially those who are gathered in different accommodation sites.
Now, I would imagine how difficult it is to conduct, operations during such bad weather conditions. Talk to us about what are some of the challenges that your team is facing currently, and the team that are on the ground, particularly during this time.
Yeah, you are right. It's very difficult because most of the roads have been damaged completely. The government are making a lot of efforts to rehabilitate the damaged roads and bridges. Sometimes it's very difficult to reach the affected areas. Boats using the sea, it's not possible. Only some possible ways to use the helicopters. And but the important thing for us is that we have been prepared before, so we have mobilized some emergent stocks in the risky areas. So for now, to reach the areas which are affected, it's not very difficult for us, but mainly in general, it's difficult because it's still raining, and we are expecting heavy rains again in the next couple of days coming. So people will be suffering, sure, for the next coming days.
Now, we know, of course, that we understand that the storm is moving currently and would be also reaching parts of Mozambique. Do you have teams that are deployed in various countries, you know, just given what you are foreseeing in terms as the storm?
Yes, in Madagascar, 15 regions out of 22 regions of the country have been affected. And not only Red Cross, but also many other different actors. We are being mobilized into different areas to make sure that we can combine together our efforts to join the government and contribute in supporting the affected people. The same is being as well in Mozambique, because Red Cross as well is already in Mozambique with the strong staff, strong volunteers, and also different stock which can be mobilized very quickly.
I mean, it's a good thing what you said earlier in terms of your readiness because of, previous past experiences. Just talk to us about how the country is in terms of, some of its infrastructure development. I mean, in January and February last year, we know that 124,000 homes, were destroyed and 130,000 people were displaced or affected. Have those homes been, rebuilt? What is the situation now? Does it exacerbate from what we saw last year?
Yeah, the problem is that actually the issue in this country, storms and cyclones comes year after year. So while we are recovering from the last weather systems for the last year, now this year other weather systems are also coming, which means that a lot of needs will be recorded, because some houses from we were still responding to the last year impact. Now there is another new impact, which means that the needs will really be very high, and we will need to support the government to make sure that all the population are supported in different areas.
Now, outside of the societies or the organizations that you've mentioned who are readily available, providing support, have past experiences, you are engaging with the various governments. Are there any assistance, or is there any assistance that is coming from other countries, that probably is much needed?
Like I said before, the government has not yet so far requested for international support. They only requested for internal solidarity, meaning that every actor who is in country can just check and mobilize his internal funding, the funding that they have already, so that they can use those funding, because we assume that the impact is not yet very much high. The government and internal actors can manage and deal with that. But remember, this is the first system coming, and the peak is not yet closed. The peak may be in end of February or even March. So we are expecting more. That's why we have to be ready in all times to make sure that we minimize and reduce the risks.
All right. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon, Mr. Bariyanga. Of course, that was Dennis Bariyanga, Operations Coordinator at the IFRC in Madagascar, saying, of course, that country is bracing itself for more storms. The peak has not arrived as yet.